Good morning, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today for our Shred.ai live product tour. Our chat is open, so let us know where you're joining from. Would love to hear from you. Now, before we begin, I want to say that we are going to record this session, and we are also going to send out these materials over to you within 24 hours after the webinar is over. So we will be sending you the recording as well. Now, today I am joined by our amazing product team. We have Eric Liu, our Chief Product Officer, and a woman that needs no introduction, as I always say, Rachelle Ray, our Head of AEC Marketing Innovation. Now, they'll go deeper into their own intros as they get into their sections. And hello again. My name is Drina Ventura. I am your Senior Director of Product Marketing here at OpenAsset and your host and moderator for today. Now, we made sure that we have ample time for live Q&A at the end of this. We have about 15 minutes at the end of the webinar, and we love questions. So please use the Q&A icon at the bottom of the Zoom and let us know questions, and we'll make sure to answer them at the end. Now, for those of you who don't know OpenAsset, we've been partnering with AEC industry for more than 20 years, and we work with over 1,000 firms worldwide. We started with our digital asset management solution, what you see here as your content engine. And OpenAsset helps teams easily find, organize, and share firm-approved assets while also automating key collateral like resumes and project sheets. Now, recently, and building on that foundation, we've introduced Shred.ai, your proposal engine. Shred allows you to instantly search through past proposals, streamline go, no-go decisions, build compliance criteria word for word. That's right, it is word for word, just so you're not missing anything on that RFP. And we help generate first drafts that combine your proposal content with data from OpenAsset. Now, each product delivers value on its own, but together they create a connected workflow that unites your firm's content and institutional knowledge and the legacy that you have at your firm. Now, let's see what's under the hood and hear from our product team today. Rachelle, over to you.
Thanks, Darina. I know Darina said I don't need an introduction, but for those of you who don't know me, my name is Rachelle Ray. I'm the head of AEC Marketing Innovation here at OpenAsset. And basically, that's a fancy title that means I have been doing AEC marketing for a very long time. In fact, my first role involved moving templates from PageMaker to InDesign. So shout out if you've known that pain. I have worked on all of it, from small, $50,000 contracts to multi-billion-dollar infrastructure bids, which means I have seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. I have seen beautiful templates and processes, as well as the messy chaos, the reality. Marketers and the technical staff proposals together. So, working hand in hand with Eric and our incredible product team, I have joined OpenAsset. I will be honest, I have been approached by a few AI proposal automation companies, but at the end of the day, I chose OpenAsset because this team is the one that I really saw putting in the effort to understand the complex and interconnected nature of AEC marketing and supporting our challenges, understanding them. So, our team is working on an incredible vision for Shred, and that is a product that understands the complex, interconnected nature of AEC marketing and supports every pursuit, from the ones we say we don't do, those copy and paste quick turns, to the all-hands strategic proposals with intelligence, flexibility, and built-in best practices. Shred takes a kind of unique approach. My core beliefs for an AI proposal tool is that it needs to understand some really essential things about our work. Number one, AEC is about relationships, not repositories. So the projects, the people, and the experience that we deal with, it's all woven together. And every firm's strengths lies in the network of connections between disciplines, between offices, between clients and pursuits. So, a solution that understands this is going to be so much more effective than one that simply serves up good content. I also believe that no two pursuits are alike, right? Even when we have strong processes and understand exactly what is expected of us, every RFP has a nuance. So, a proposal has to flex to fit the unique scale, the strategy, and the pace of each pursuit, from those on calls to the landmark bids. Institutional knowledge is the plague, right? It is the big challenge to overcome. So, best practices need to be baked into workflows. And our product should make insights from lessons learned, new data, and your team's expertise accessible and actionable. And finally, I think that technology should adapt to people, not the other way around. So, the same way that no two pursuits are alike, no two teams will approach a response in the same way. So, we should have structure, but not be prescriptive. And a truly powerful AI tool supports all those different ways of working. I think what you're going to see in here in the next hour will show that these core beliefs are being woven into a truly AEC responsive product. But we didn't just build Shred.ai because I asked for it. Like all of the things that OpenAsset does, this product is built on a ton of research, including a survey of over 1,000 marketers completed last year. These stats on this slide are probably not surprising to you. Proposal professionals spend the majority of our time on business development activities that grow our firms, like proposals. And our average proposal takes 2 to 4 weeks to develop and submit. But for more than half of us, we are essentially wasting our time on proposals that are not in our wheelhouse and don't target an ideal customer or project. And that can be really frustrating. It can lead to burnout, it can lead to frustration among your team. And of course, we are submitting at the very last minute. Quite honestly, I think a few people weren't totally honest here because 64% seems low, but maybe there are some magical unicorns in the AEC world that are getting those bids in the day before. But the reason we are hitting submit in the portal at 1:59 and hoping it doesn't crash before the 2 p.m. deadline is because the process of putting together a proposal is chaotic. There are a ton of steps, some of which backtrack on each other, because things are constantly changing. Our strategies evolve with new information, clients throw random stuff at us. It's a mess. Addendum 1 comes out and clarifies things. Kelsey, this is very stressful for me too. Addendum 3 comes out and contradicts Addendum 1. Suddenly the deadline is extended. We have a ton of RFIs. It gets messy, right? Technical team involvement is not always consistent because they are working on billable projects and marketing is this extra thing for a lot of them. So our vision at OpenAsset is to simplify this process, save time, and leverage data and insights to help guide your decisions. This is the process that we want to work towards with you. Shred.ai enables you to build consistency into your proposal development process by giving you the tools and insights you need. Of course, I know it is a bit more complicated than this, but this is like an ideal state that we want to get you to. So, in summary, we talked to a lot of brilliant leaders about their processes and their challenges and realized there is a big opportunity here to create a solution that makes your lives easier. And our team is very motivated to help solve this problem and close the gap. They empathize so deeply with the challenges that marketers are dealing with. We also realize that more volume does not mean more wins. That is not the problem that we are solving. That is not your challenge. Your challenge is managing the already crazy workloads that you are dealing with. So our goal is to give you back time that allows you to add in the magic that results in a winning bid. And that magic is your human strategic insights and connections, your creativity to capitalize on those relationships that make AEC AEC. And with that, I'm going to pass it to Eric so he can show you the magic.
Thank you so much, Rachelle. I will also have to say that it's been such an honor and pleasure to be partnering with you on this journey to build Shred.ai. It's been a really great experience. So, love that. So, hi, everyone. A little bit about me. My name is Eric Liu. I am the Chief Product Officer here at OpenAsset. My background is entirely in product. So, spent the last 25 plus years of my career really working at companies to help define their product vision and strategy. And then, of course, executing that strategy through really beautiful and intuitive user experience design and, of course, great executional product development. I would categorize myself as an AI-focused product leader, having worked and launched many AI-first products, a lot of them in the traditional ML space, many of them also in the generative AI space. Many of those products have also been 0 to 1 product builds. So this is taking something that doesn't exist and getting to that first version of a product, and of course, evolving and scaling that product to really great product market fit and continue to add value and build upon those products. My role here at OpenAsset is currently leading and scaling the product and product design teams and really continuing to evolve our AEC marketing platform. So that's enough slides, I guess, on our side. I would really love to provide a live demo of Shred.ai that you've been hearing so much about. So let me switch and dive right into Shred.ai. So as you can see here, this is the homepage for Shred.ai. Most of this product is really comprised of 2 main sections. Over here is your pursuit section that houses all of your active and recent opportunities and RFPs that you're pursuing. And then over here is our proposal library. And at the heart of Shred.ai really is your proposal library. So many of you out there working at AEC firms, you guys are probably sitting on many years of really great past proposal content, a literal gold mine of great data. But because marketing and business development teams work on so many proposals a month, over time, it can be really difficult to remember exactly what's in each proposal. And then you have to go through that whole manual process of reaching out to somebody who knows somebody who worked on a proposal, only to find out that they're on PTO or are no longer with the company. That whole process is just very tedious and time consuming. So how do you provide and surface up all that knowledge and insights really at the touch of your fingertips? Say you just joined an AEC firm and you're trying to work on an RFP, but don't have that institutional knowledge yet. How do you get access to that information in a very quick and intuitive way? So one of the key capabilities here is that you can access your proposal library and leverage all of these really wonderful search and AI chat capabilities to basically find what you're looking for. So let's do a search right now. Let's say I'm looking for North Carolina licensed architects and type that into the search. Now, as you can see here, this search results page is very reminiscent of what Google does, right? Where you kind of combine the best of both worlds, where you have an AI overview at the top, as well as more traditional search results here at the bottom. So let's look into this Haywood Community College proposal over here. So I'll click open over here, and as you can see, it'll actually highlight and scroll you directly to where North Carolina Architect is mentioned and really scroll you to the page of wherever it is that you're searching for, right? So this is page 2 out of 35. It'll really present you the exact information that you're looking for and provide that information really at the touch of your fingertips so you can find really quickly what it is that you're looking for. If you go back to the search results page, you can also see here the AI overview provides a really great summary as well into what it is that you're looking for. So if you're looking for more of a broad swath of what North Carolina licensed architects are in my proposal library, this AI overview at the top will provide you with that information. So let's dive deeper into the AI chat here. So at any point, you can open up a new chat and then provide a more engaging experience with your proposal library where you can have a more in-depth conversation with it. This experience right here is probably reminiscent of what you're used to seeing in a ChatGPT-like experience, where all of your past conversations are saved here on the left-hand side. And then, of course, you can ask it a more in-depth question here on your proposal library. So let's say you want to have a conversation about design philosophy. So tell me about our design philosophy for higher education projects. Type that into the chat. And while this is working, this is really combining your information that you have in your proposal library and gathering all of the information there and really providing a very informed response on your design philosophy around higher education projects. So this is a really great experience here. And again, this is scouring all of the content that you have in your proposal library to provide the really accurate response here, right? So all of the sources that it is being used to create this response is always cited. So at any given point, you can kind of click into these cited sources and it'll bring you directly again to the page of the proposal that mentions your design philosophy around higher education. So I think this information obviously is also just really, really valuable. And of course, you can always copy this information. You can thumbs up, thumbs down it. But at any point you wanted to leverage all of this response, you can just click this copy button and then paste it into a Word doc, send it off in a direct message across Microsoft Teams. Very just quick, easy ways to share this information to your colleagues or potentially leverage it in a document. So to recap, you can use your proposal library to find past content, understand your portfolio, and even find the best project and experience matches for your RFPs. Speaking of which, let's look at how Shred.ai can make shredding an RFP a breeze. So I'll go over into this Pursuits tab, and this again houses all of your recent and active pursuits. You can obviously sort these by upload date, status, different filters as well around active and submitted. So all this is really here at your disposal. So let's go ahead and upload an active RFP that your firm might be working on. So I'll quickly type this in here, Shred live webinar. Gotta love that live typing here. Create that pursuit, and then I'll upload an RFP. And then click Shred File. So as you can see here, this is an RFP that's being shredded in real time. Shredding, of course, is the process where you're analyzing and extracting the contents of the RFP. This is a step that usually takes a couple of hours, depending on the size and length of an RFP. And as you can see, all this is happening in probably under 30 seconds or less, which is really, really fantastic. We also have really great go, no-go capabilities in Shred.ai as well. So this kind of speaks to what Rachelle's earlier pain points around making sure that you're spending your precious time and resources pursuing opportunities that you really have a great chance to win. I know there's always been an uphill battle with AEC marketing teams that may or may not feel empowered to be able to inform a go, no-go decision and may potentially be trumped by partners or principals that just have a gut feeling about an opportunity that they want to pursue, right? This capability really provides yet another data point to help support marketers in their kind of stance or their positioning around how do we make more thoughtful and strategic decisions around potential opportunities that may or may not be a really great chance to win, right? So this go, no-go capability, again, provides all that information, right? So you can answer a couple of questions, and towards the end of this process, really just get a score, an indication on whether or not this is a good opportunity to pursue or not. So going back to the RFP page, this right here is the main UI and view for the pursuit process right here. And I personally really like this view because it provides this really great side-by-side view where you have the RFP on the left-hand side and your proposal management plan on the right-hand side. Some of you firms out there may refer to this as a compliance matrix, but really, this view right here, in speaking with many AEC marketing and BD teams, very much mimics how you guys currently work, where you have multiple tabs or windows up. I oftentimes reference that you guys are tab or window masters because that's just the nature of how you guys work. This hopefully very much mimics your workflow. So really, everything here that you see on the right-hand side are all the data points that the AI has extracted verbatim from the RFP. And I really want to emphasize the verbatim part really clearly here. As some of you may know, either through knowing the technology or through your own experiences leveraging ChatGPT, LLMs by design are meant to summarize, which is really great if you wanted to summarize just meeting notes. But when it comes to the RFP response process, summarizing very important requirements like response criteria or anything related to compliance could lead to immediate disqualification, which would obviously be very unfortunate after you spend weeks, if not months, working on a very important proposal. So our AI and engineering team has spent a lot of time and effort creating techniques to force our AI to never summarize and extract sections from the RFP word for word, ensuring complete compliance right from the start. And that's one of many examples that you'll see throughout this demo of how we're not leveraging just AI right off the shelf from OpenAI or Anthropic and really customizing and fine-tuning our AI to be just very AEC specific. As many of you on the call know, the AEC industry and the RFP response process is so nuanced, and we want to make sure that our AI is able to really be hyper-focused on the AEC industry. Nevertheless, we always want to make sure that there's human-in-the-loop workflows. So let's start with something pretty straightforward here. So as you can see, there's always going to be these kind of question marks that allow verification, right? So in this scenario, let's just cross-reference the RFP number. In this case, it got it 100% verbatim and correct. So let's just verify that, and that makes it a green check mark. But say you wanted to inspect the formatting requirements a little bit more, because that's really important to you. At any point throughout any of these data extraction points here, you can click on this menu, click on View Source, and it will scroll you directly to the page of the RFP that mentions this exact data extraction, and then highlight it for you so you can easily do, again, that quick cross-reference here. In this case, again, got it 100% correct, so let me verify that. But say there are those many instances out there where there is conflicting sources. Say the issuer or the client maybe duplicated an existing RFP and forgot to update a key piece of information. For instance, submission deadline. This little indication here means that there's a conflicting source around submission deadlines. So you can click here, click on conflicting sources, and as you can see, the AI has detected that there's two competing submission deadlines here. So if you click on this one mentions July 28th. If you go to the next one, this one mentions July 31st. So this really, at a glance, quickly highlights to the user that, hey, this is something that is in contradiction to each other. So you might want to get in touch with the client or the issuer to just clarify, when is this RFP actually due? Great. And then moving on, the response criteria. This is really the heart and soul of the RFP, right? So everything here in this response criteria outline section are all the questions that you as an AEC firm and a marketing team have to answer in response to this particular RFP. You can expand and contract this area to get a little bit more screen real estate as well. You can also quickly jump to important areas, right? So evaluation criteria. This allows you to quickly jump to that section in the RFP to just make sure that you understand how you will be evaluated and judged. It's really helpful here. So the other thing that I want to call out here is that this AI chat that I introduced you to before, it's always omnipresent and will be available to you at any given point, right? The other beautiful thing about this AI chat is that it's very contextualized too. So it'll know exactly where within Shred.ai you are and be able to be contextualized to the section of the product that you're in, as well as the pursuit. So as you can see here, you are chatting with both your proposal library and this pursuit, which is the Shred live webinar. So let me ask it a question. So VTR Architects is the kind of mock AEC firm that we have in this demo environment. So let me say something like, which of VTR's past projects, whoops, are most similar to the scope of work for the ASU project? Why? So again, this is contextualized and knows that you're working on this particular pursuit, and it's also digging into your past proposal library and being able to surface up some really great projects that might be a great portfolio showcase in regards to what the client is asking for in this RFP. It's really just really fantastic feature. I always consider this AI chat here as almost your kind of proposal partner throughout this entire project. You can even ask it things like, are there any risks to note in this RFP? Oops. And again, it will really scour the content of everything that's in the proposal management plan. Right here, as you can see, it caught the fact that there are 2 submission deadlines. Maybe that needs clarification, right? Really highlighting the project complexity risks around sustainability and lead certification. All of this, again, is really quickly at your disposal and allows you to just surface up kind of key recommendations and gotchas within the RFP that would normally take many hours for you to scan through, which is obviously precious time that you could be spending on more creative or strategic things. Great. So moving on to the recommendations tab, this is also a really exciting feature here as well. So in the recommendations tab, this is really leveraging AI to highlight client challenges and goals. So this is, again, leveraging AI to scour the contents of the RFP and really surfacing up key things that the client really wants to prioritize, right? Whether it's things they care about, whether it's project goals, any technical challenges that they might have referenced. It'll even go so far as to suggest different project types. So if there are really some educational makerspace type of projects that you've done in the past, innovation labs, any technology intensive academic buildings, these are all just key recommendations here that you can then start to leverage when you start doing your storyboarding and developing your strategic win themes. All of this can be leveraged to inform all of that work that you're developing, which I think is really, really great. And then last but not least, this Shred.ai, of course, being an OpenAsset product, you'll have native integrations to all of the wonderful assets and information and data that you have in OpenAsset, right? So I'll just showcase you over here this particular project. So when you go into the curated assets section, all of your wonderful projects, your employee information, your beautiful imagery, all of this can be pulled over from OpenAsset into Shred.ai. So I'll showcase that for you right here. Click on projects. That'll open up OpenAsset here, which is really fantastic. And then you can start selecting your assets, right? So say there's a couple of projects that you also want to bring in to help potentially leverage for your proposal. You can select them here and then add it to a pursuit. And then I'll go ahead and add it to this one, add to pursuit. And then of course, go back here. And of course, all those projects are now readily available here. And at any given point, you can click on any of these assets and it will bring you directly to the page of that employee or image or project. So that really great integration here between OpenAsset and Shred.ai really empowers that end-to-end workflow where you have your single source of truth, where all of your project information, employee information, your templates are in OpenAsset, including your text assets, and you can bring them all over into Shred so that they're all centrally located all in one place, which is really fantastic. And of course, once you have all this information here in Shred, you can, of course, then be well prepared to go to a kickoff meeting, having all of your assets, and then also all of the information in this proposal management plan, which then you can export right into Word. So just saving you a ton of time and freeing you up to do a lot more strategic work, like developing your strategic win themes. So in the next kind of release of Shred.ai, we're introducing this new capability called the Proposal Studio, where all of your response criteria questions will be transferred over into this Proposal Studio to allow you to just create and edit and start drafting your response. One of the key design and product philosophies around AI is that we're not here to kind of leverage Shred.ai and to create a product to replace human marketers. That obviously is not our intent and not something that we do. We are really here to assist you and make your life easier, right? So rather than spending hours searching and gathering narratives to answer a question that you've probably answered a million times before, right? So it's more about how do we surface that content to you so you no longer have to dumpster dive or hunt and peck and find all that information, right? So for each one of these response criteria, you can click on every one of them. And what you're seeing right here is that Shred.ai will go into your proposal library and surface narratives and text snippets that you've probably spent many hours perfectly crafting before that very much aligns with this particular response criteria question, right? So I'll surface up a couple of best matches here, and at any given point, you can choose the one that you want. And then once you click on it, it will take that content and drop it right into your proposal draft here. And then, of course, once it's here, you can edit it, you can massage it, you can refine it. If you did want to leverage AI to kind of rephrase or shorten it for you, you have that option. But of course, that's not necessarily something that we want to just force everyone to do at every given point. I think the other value here is solving that pain point of getting information from subject matter experts. A lot of times when we speak to our customers, that collaboration portion of trying to get information from SMEs is oftentimes like pulling teeth. Now, again, it's not their fault. They're obviously extremely busy working on a lot of billable hour work. This really helps solve that blank page problem, right? So rather than just giving them a question with a blank page, how about you just give them something that maybe they helped write in the past that very much aligns with this new response criteria question that you're working on? It's a lot easier for SMEs to edit and revise something that exists as opposed to staring at a blank page, right? So this is another value add here that I think is really, really valuable when it comes to surfacing up past content. So the other really great thing that I'd like to highlight is that you can do real-time compliance check in real time while you're in the flow of drafting. So rather than completing your first draft and then doing a compliance check afterwards, you can actually do the compliance check while you're creating your response to the RFP, which I think is a lot more of an efficient workflow when you're doing your drafting right here. And then, of course, once you're happy with your first draft, you can export this into Microsoft Word or InDesign and really prep it for final submission. So with that, that concludes the live demo portion of Shred.ai. Really hope that you are excited about what you saw today. This is a product that's constantly improving on a daily/weekly basis. A lot of our customers that are currently using Shred.ai can see the speed of innovation and improvements that we're working on this product. But as you can see, hopefully this will just give you an idea on how much value and how much time Shred.ai really provides you. So again, that your busy BD and marketing teams can really free up your times to focus more on strategic and creative initiatives as opposed to being bogged down with a lot of this manual and tedious and time-consuming tasks. So back to the presentation here. So in summary, I wanted to highlight just 4 key Shred.ai differentiators, a lot of which you saw in the live product demo. Number 1, it's powered by OpenAsset. So native integration with our extremely popular digital asset management product. A lot of our existing customers house all of their project information, employee information, text assets that are boilerplate narratives, as well as their beautiful imagery and photography. All of that information and data can be pulled into Shred.ai and be leveraged as part of the RFP response process. OpenAI has also been around for over 20 years. We have over 1,000 customers, a 98% retention rate. We are a trusted brand within the industry, and we've always been hyper-focused on the AEC industry, and that is part of our DNA, and it's something that will never change. And I think that is really important. Any existing OpenAsset customer out there can probably attest to our really great partnership and collaboration with our customers. It's something I personally am really proud of, being a very customer-centric product leader, but it is something that I think is something that we've proven over the past two plus decades. The third part, purpose-built for AEC, this again highlights our focus and attention on creating very AEC-specific technology, right? So not leveraging an LLM off the shelf and really spending all the time and effort into fine-tuning and training our AI to just understand the nuances of the AEC industry to allow us to just better tailor our products to tackle and provide value in that space. And then, of course, table stakes here, robust security. We are SOC 2 Type 2 compliant. We also are working on many other certifications around NIST and security, new AI certifications. We are obviously building all of this out, but all of our existing products are very much aligned with the most stringent type of compliance requirements out there, which I think a lot of IT teams are very much thoughtfully aware of and careful of. So with that, I will segue into the quick FAQ section of this webinar here. First question.
Yeah, Eric, we get this one a lot, and I think I even saw it in the chat recently. Why can't I just use ChatGPT for proposals?
Great question. It's a question we get a lot too. You can use it for proposals. Whether or not it's going to meet your expectations and needs, I think is the big question here, right? So ChatGPT has this really great function called projects where you can load up all of your project information, but projects is limited. You can only store a certain number of proposals there. But I think the biggest key here is that OpenAI, Anthropic, ChatGPT, Claude, they're all general purpose built AI and LLMs, right? They're meant to appeal and provide value to the masses. Whereas I think for us, again, we're not leveraging just an LLM or AI off the shelf. We are really spending a lot of time and effort to fine tune and train our AI models to just really understand the AEC industry. So things like attribution of knowledge. Say I have proposals in my library and it includes content from my sub-consultants. How is the AI going to know that this is an employee from my firm versus a sub-consultant's firm? Nuances around extracting response criteria verbatim. These are all things that a general purpose AI like ChatGPT is not going to be really fantastic at, right? So this is all around how do you align yourselves with a company that truly understands the AEC industry and is really spending the hard work and the effort in engineering technology that aligns with that deep understanding of the AEC industry and the needs of our marketers.
Amazing. I've also seen this one in the chat quite a lot. Will my content be used to train external AI models?
Yeah, fantastic question. This is obviously very sensitive because a lot of the information that you feed into AI, you want to make sure doesn't get leaked out, right? You potentially are talking about, competitive strategies or positioning. The great thing about Shred.ai is it's entirely a closed system, right? So any information that you're engaging with the AI chat or uploading your pursuits or developing your strategic win themes, all of that information is really private and also part of your intellectual property. None of that information ever gets leaked out outside of Shred.ai. None of that information goes out to the broader internet, and all of our environments are all isolated per customer and client. So none of that information also gets leaked out to other customers as well. So this obviously is very, very important, but just to re-emphasize that Shred.ai is very much a closed system, and really all of the information that you're feeding the AI models is really more only for the benefit of your AEC firm and nobody else. So rest assured that all of these measures are in place to make sure that none of this information ever gets leaked out outside of your own firm's knowledge. And then this last question is really back for you, Rachelle. Will Shred.ai replace me or my AEC marketing team?
I think this is another great question, and I'm going to give it an adamant, vehement no. I talked about relationships and connections, and I think a hallmark of all of those things is the human element in them. So Shred is a tool. It's a really cool tool, and it's going to help take the burden of a lot of the manual processes that exist within creating a proposal. But it is not going to replace our human creativity, our human brains, and how we draw those connections between each other. It can't quite mimic that. And so I think that Shred will not replace your AEC marketing team. I think that we have very intentionally built in workflows that make Shred feel like a very smart assistant that gives you superpowers like those verifications that work, the verification workflows that Eric showed earlier, um, which kind of give you a boost in your process. You understand the RFP faster, but the magic of writing a winning proposal, writing a good proposal, comes from that very human place that AI just absolutely can't replace. So no, no.
Yes, and I will echo that from a product philosophy standpoint. Like I mentioned earlier, we really want Shred.ai to be a partner in your proposal creation, right? Not necessarily replacing you, but really helping you save a lot more time, so you can really focus on being a lot more creative and strategic, which is really what you guys do best. Great. Let me segue to the Q&A portion. Dorina, you want to kick it away?
Yes. Thank you, Eric and Rachelle, for taking us through our Shred AI experience. Again, if you have any more questions, we have so many questions to answer. So we're going to go through this rapid fire with Eric and Rachelle. But again, use the Q&A button icon here on our Zoom webinar. And if you'd like more information or want a customized demo of Shred AI, please visit openasset.com/shred. Again, that's openasset.com/shred. And I know there are a lot of questions, so we'll get through them quickly as we can with the 15 minutes that we do have. The only questions that I'm not answering here would be pricing questions. If you want pricing information, please reach out to your account rep and they'll be able to help you with pricing there. All right, Eric, Rachelle, are we ready?
Ready as ever.
All right, let's do it. Okay, first one. Do you recommend including all proposals or taking more curated approach so that content quality is maintained?
It's a great question. Rachelle, do you want to handle that?
I will absolutely handle that one. There's a fine balance between giving the AI enough information for it to return a very robust response to you, but also giving it good information. So I recommend figuring out, like, what are your best in class proposals? Of course, we're definitely going to put those ones in, but then also look for ones that have really good, unique content and provide this lovely range, because the more the AI has access to diversity wise, the better the returns are going to be for you.
Awesome. This one's just yes or no. Do we have the capability to search an architect's name and have it pull up a list of all the proposals they were listed in?
Yes.
Awesome. Next one. Thanks, Rebecca, for this question. How does the AI handle conflicting information? For example, older proposals will have various pieces of outdated information. If I were to ask how many employees the firm had, different proposals would have different information.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. It can accomplish it in several ways right here. I think when you're doing an AI chat, the AI is going to learn from some of your responses, right? So there's going to be certain weighting elements when you AI chat. So for example, when you have information in a proposal that might have been submitted 3 years ago, but then you have conflicting information on a proposal that was submitted yesterday, the AI is going to realize around the recency and relevancy of the two different submission dates and make its best assumption that the one that was submitted yesterday was going to be more up-to-date information than the proposal that was submitted 3 years ago, right? So I think the AI just learning based on how you're interacting and engaging with it, I think is number one. I think the other thing is being that it does have native direct integration with OpenAsset. If you have updated employee count information in OpenAsset, that obviously is information that Shred.ai can leverage as well. So there's really multiple ways where we can get to the most accurate answer possible. It's just kind of leveraging and triangulating all these different ways to come together to create a most accurate and informed information when it comes to conflicting sources. That's about the best way that we can do it.
Awesome. Thanks, Eric. All right. Where is the data stored that is submitted into the AI chat?
Where's the data stored? I mean, it's really stored just locally on your environment, in your own private kind of environment, right? So right now our system is pretty much entirely in the cloud, but there's logical separations for each one of our customers. So it's really being stored somewhat in your own cloud environment that is not exposed or not shared really with any other of our customers, right? So all that data is being stored there. You have access to all that data. And again, it's never being leveraged or leaked out of your own environment. So yeah, all that is just logical separations in our cloud environment.
Thanks, Eric. Okay, we have Catherine. Catherine is asking, can the AI chats be grouped by pursuit like you can group in folders in ChatGPT now?
Can group by pursuits. Can the chat be grouped by pursuits? Yeah, so the chat understands and is contextualized to where you are within Shred.ai. So if you are in a pursuit and you're asking it a question, it'll know that you're in a pursuit and be able to focus and answer only around knowledge within that pursuit. So you don't necessarily have to spend that manual effort of like organizing contents. It'll just know that you're in a specific pursuit and be able to answer questions related to just that pursuit only. So in some ways, it kind of is already aware and contextualized to where you are in the product. But that would be the way that we would organize it.
Okay. Another one from Catherine. Can you filter what proposals Shred AI searches to pull from? For instance, a healthcare proposal doesn't need to pull from K-12 or Civic.
Yeah, that's also a great question. You can just be very specific around it. I think the way that we've designed our AI chat and search is that no longer do you have to use kind of the old school way of filtering and turning on these keywords types of things. You can leverage natural language to be able to narrow in on exactly where you're searching, right? So if you don't want to include certain types of proposals or projects, or you only really want to focus on proposals that are within the past 5 years, you can just type that in and be specific in the AI chat or search bar, and it will be able to only look at the ones that you're pointing it towards. So I think that's the way that we would handle it.
Okay, awesome. This one's a good one. Does Shred connect with any CRMs?
It does. So OpenAsset in general has over 14 different integrations. A lot of those integrations include from popular CRMs like Deltek Vision and Vantage Point, or Uninet CRM. So yeah, I think because Shred.ai directly integrates with OpenAsset, you can get the benefits of all the integrations that our existing customers currently have with OpenAsset.
Okay, next one from Michael. Is the model designed to learn exclusively from our data? If so, does it iterate as we upload more proposal or content?
Yes, it's only exclusively on your firm's information and content. And of course, the beauty of AI is that it's constantly evolving and constantly learning and constantly getting better. So through human feedback, verification, whether you're thumbs up, thumbs downing some information in the chat, all that information is being leveraged to further inform and fine tune your specific AI model, and get better over time as you continue to use it and as you continue to upload more proposals into it.
Okay, we have a question from Jeremy. Can you upload or link an addendum to an RFQ?
Can you link an addendum? Rachelle, do you want to tackle that? I don't want to dominate the Q&A portion of this.
You were good. I'm having a lot of fun just reading all the questions that are coming in. So yes, it is very important to be able to connect documents to your pursuit. This is something that we are working towards making sure is an integral part of the Shred workflow. So adding those addendum, adding those contextual documents so that Shred fully understands the pursuit and the workflow that you are enmeshed in.
Thank you, Rachelle. And when asking insights, can you contextualize with tags or something, or is it only, or does it only search the sector that you need to pull projects from?
So there's no tagging right now. I think this kind of is similar to the previous question where it's like, I guess, filter or isolate my question towards a particular sector or topic or time frame. You can use kind of the AI chat and natural language to tag or identify specific pieces of information. We are working on introducing tags for those of you that really want to tag something specific, but otherwise you would just kind of like leverage your just natural language way of searching or prompting with the AI chat to ultimately get to the information that you're looking for.
All right, now let's talk sources. Are there sources that you can click on in the tabs that will bring you to that section in the RFP where it lists the information that is provided?
Yes. So for everything that's AI or search related, the sources are always going to be cited. So you're never kind of guessing like where did the AI find this information or what proposal is this response being crafted from, right? So all the sources from everything that we're doing is always cited and it's always hyperlinked as well. So you can always click on that source and it'll bring you directly to the proposal and scroll you directly to the page where it's actually citing and referencing that particular source.
All
Same
right.
thing in the pursuit. I just want to also shout that out. All of the data points in your proposal management plan do get hyperlinked to the page in the RFP where they were found so that you can very quickly understand, validate, and verify.
Thank you both. All right, let's talk limits. Is there a limit on the number of questions or inquiries a user can ask in 1 week or 1 month?
Unlimited. So yes, no limits.
No limits here. All right. Will the proposal studio be able to generate an organizational chart?
An organizational chart from an image standpoint, like an org chart. That's definitely something that we're working towards. I think right now the kind of the first release will be primarily more focused on like the narratives and the text and the content, but being able to generate an org chart or be able to leverage information to create one is more of a multimodal approach, which is definitely something that we're working towards.
All right. Are there tools within Shred to manage or track the proposal workflows?
Within Shred to track the proposal workflows. I guess Rachelle, do you want to tackle that one?
Absolutely. There are a lot of hands that get stuck into proposals, and we know that, and we know that you need to understand who is doing what and what has been assigned to who. We are working on making sure that that is robust enough for your processes. Right now, anybody who uploads a pursuit can see that pursuit in your entire workspace. So if I upload, Eric can go see it, Dorina can see what's been validated. If I've added any notes to the PMP and our customization, they'll both be able to see that. When we move into Proposal Studio, we will all be able to see the draft coming together. So we'll all be able to see what has been added, what has been changed. We'll get notifications on that. We can do assignments out of there as well. So it is a very collaborative product.
Awesome. All right. This one is around our no go. Is the go no go tool editable or customizable from Elizabeth?
It's a great question. It will be in a few weeks. Actually, that's part of our upcoming release where we can customize all the questions in the Go No Go capability. A lot of you AEC firms out there probably have your own set of Go No Go questions, and they're all probably weighted too. Some questions have a little bit more importance than others. All of that functionality and capability will be part of an upcoming release for Shred.ai.
All right. What about team members that don't have access to OA, but they have Shred? Are they able to share that with team members?
Share that with team members. Yeah, I mean, at the great thing about our kind of pricing model, which I know we're not supposed to talk about, but it does have kind of unlimited users, right? So
Yeah.
if they don't have OpenAsset, but they want to be part of the RFP response process in Shred.ai, you can invite them to it. They can either be, a participant in a responding to a proposal, or they can access the AI chat and ask a bunch of questions related to your proposal library. So you're teaching more people in your firm to fish as opposed to them constantly sending you an MS Teams message asking you the same question a million times. So yeah, all that you can invite as many people into the product as possible.
Awesome. Thank you, Eric. All right. From Elizabeth, are you able to compare your proposal response document with the RFP document to confirm compliance?
Yes, that is definitely something that we're working towards. As you might have saw in the demo, we're allowing that capability to be done in real time as you're drafting. So, while you're in the flow of creating your proposal draft response, you can get that compliance check happening in real time, which I think is really just a very much an efficient way of working. So, yes, definitely being able to do that.
Awesome. And is Shred AI only for current OpenAsset users, or can it be used independently?
Yes, this is also a really great question. No, Shred.ai is a standalone product. So if you wanted to use Shred.ai for proposal management and maybe another product for your content engine, that's perfectly fine. So it doesn't necessarily require you to have and use OpenAsset. That being said, both of those products are so tightly integrated together and they really complete an end-to-end workflow that, of course, when you have both products together, you just get a lot more benefits from having the value that both products bring when it comes to that native integration and the integrated workflows between the products. But no, we don't force everyone to purchase both products. That would not be very customer friendly. So if you wanted to only get Shred.ai, you definitely can. But of course, we would recommend getting both products together because they are better together.
Great. All right. I think this has to be our last question because we are at time. There are so many more questions, but don't worry. We're going to go through them today and make sure we get them answered, and we'll follow up with you directly. I want to first answer that question that we had before even having the webinar. There was a question from Kathleen around, can Shred AI link to Vantage Point?
It can through OpenAsset. So OpenAsset does have an integration directly in Vantage Point, and all the people and project information can be pulled into OpenAsset, which then can then be pulled into Shred.ai. So yeah, definitely does.
Okay, awesome. Well, that is it for today. I think I saw a comment here in the chat from Marie, who is talking about, I'm just going to read this verbatim in case I missed it. I just want to highlight for all users of AI technology that the most important thing you should pay attention to is to verify, in caps, the data that is presented to you. And that is exactly what this team has built, is making sure that humans are in the loop. And as you saw from Eric's demo, it has verification all throughout, and everything that is exported, even if they're not verified, it will say that it's still unverified. So the team here that is in front of you has thought about that and has been intentional with the way that this tool helps marketers. Anything to chime in there, Eric and Rachelle, before we head off?
No, I think you did a brilliant job summarizing that. But yes, that very much aligns with our philosophy. AI is fantastic these days, but it's still not perfect. So obviously, making sure that we're still keeping AEC marketers in control of the whole experience and outcome, it has been very paramount and part of our principles from day one when we were first designing and building Shred.
All right, Rachelle.
I have nothing to add to that above AI is no replacement for you, the wonderful humans behind marketing and growth at your firms. So we are designing Shred with that in mind.
Yeah, we're here to give you time back to work on the fun things like storytelling and strategy. So we're excited. Thank you all for the questions that came in. There were over 60 questions. So we're going to get through them. We'll follow up with you individually. Eric and Rachelle, thank you for your time, and we really appreciate you. For everyone that joined us today, I hope you all have a lovely day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.